welcome to a Tuesday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, Patterns Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Thanks to everybody who watched yesterday. Appreciate that. It was a little different spin here on Morning Scone. Got to see my my interview on Crane and Company Live. Hopefully many of you went back and watched the whole thing on the Crane and Company channel so you could see how something's post-produced. Anyway, big news on Monday, Brian Kelly will not name a starting quarterback. So I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with him not naming a starter. If he feels like that gives him even the slightest, as he put it, tactical advantage, okay. As long as the players know, the teams know, and the starter is taking all the reps, cool. Starter's taking all the first team reps, cool. I'm kind of skeptical as to whether or not it actually would matter. I think both quarterbacks are similar. It's not like one guy is a mobile quarterback, the other's a pocket passer. I don't think that LSU's offense really changes based on which quarterback's in the game. I think they call the same plays. Brian Kelly acknowledges much. I guess, which you could argue is any minute that Florida State is spending watching film on one quarterback and not the other is a minute they could be allocating toward game plan if they know it. So there's that. I'll still maintain that I think it'll be Jaden. This isn't new. Y'all have heard me say this for months now. And I think it's for all the reasons we've talked about. You've got a guy that's, it's started 30 games in his career. I think it's 29, but I keep saying 30, but 29, you understand. And, because you're opening up against Florida State and New Orleans, all that setting and everything, I think you go with the more veteran guy who's been there. So, part of me would love to see LSU have an open the way, say, Texas A&M does. They're going to play Sam Houston, and then they're going to play App State. Well, you can play both guys. You can play both guys in those two games and come out of that with a better feeling on the two before you take on Miami, But LSU doesn't have that luxury. They got to be ready to roll on Sunday night, so I think it'll be Jaden, but we'll see. Brian Kelly did name the starting offensive line, so Cam Wire is going to be your starter at right tackle, and Miles Frazier will be at left guard. That's a change from what the original five that we had seen, where you had Tremont Shorts at left guard and Frazier at right. So Wire in, Shorts out, and they sort of switched positions a little bit as well. So, and Damian Ramos is your starting kicker. So, questions, fire away, y'all. Gerald Mathern, Michael Arthur, Bubba Tatum, Shelby Kelly, good morning. How about Elias Ricks not cracking the starting lineup for Bama? Hey, Shelby, seriously, don't call a kid a clown. I'm not trying to chastise you, dude, especially early in the morning. I'm going to push back against that. And he will be a starter at Bama. The reason he's not is because he basically missed all the fall camp with a back injury. I'm just never going to be okay with adults calling kids clowns. I've told you point blank why Elias Ricks left here. He wanted NIL opportunities. He had zero, literally zero. He had no NIL opportunities. Probably could have stayed, gotten deals with Gordon or whoever, didn't. Okay, whatever. But come on, man. Shelby, I like you, man. I'm not trying to call you out in the morning, man. But you should know me well enough to know now that that's not going to sit well with me. I'm far too pro student athlete. These are still 18, 19, 20-year-olds, That kid's going to be a first-round pick, and LSU would be better with him on the team. And he's going to start for Bama, and they're going to be really good, and he's probably going to win a national title this year. All right, anyway. I love you, Shelby. But you know me well enough by now. That ain't going to sit well. Casey Williams, Jeff McKithen, Brant Roban. Who has a better record? Tennessee or LSU? It may come down to the game in Baton Rouge. So I'm telling you, Tennessee's got a tough task week 2 with Pitt. I'll tell y'all, man. So they play Ball State on Thursday. They'll win. They get a long week till they play Pitt, which that's going to be a struggle for them. They'll beat Akron. They get Florida in Knoxville. Should win that game. They come to Baton Rouge. They'll lose to Tennessee. They'll beat Tennessee Martin. They get Kentucky at home. They got to go to Georgia. They should beat Missouri and Knoxville. They got to go to South Carolina. That's going to be tough. And then to Vanderbilt. I think they're looking at 8-4 season. I think they may end up with the same record. Brad David, Joey Vincent, Lucy B, Brandon, good morning. Larry Garner, Brady Smith, Kerry Hughes. What's the Orioles helmet? Ben McDonald. No, it's Cal Ripken. I became obsessed in 1996 with the streak, 21-31. So I got that Cal Ripken autographed helmet, it's autographed batting helmet. I saved all my money, went to a card show, bought a Cal Ripken rookie card. So Cal Ripken broke the record, broke Lou Gehrig's record on September the 6th of 1996. I bought that card at the card show the weekend before on September the 3rd. It's weird the things you remember, but it was Sunday, September the 3rd. So he broke that record on a Wednesday. Unless it was Saturday the 3rd, he broke it on Tuesday the 6th, but it was something like that. Rapid Batches, Tim Gotro, Jesse Post, good morning. Well, let's see, Brad David. Will Dave Aranda mean, what did Dave Aranda mean in the article where he said he never really talked? Was he taking a shot at LSU? I don't know. I didn't see the article, Brad. Send me a link. Dave was a different kind of dude, man. Dave was kind of quiet. He still is. That's just his personality. But I don't know what you mean when you say he never kind of talked. I mean, if you're talking about Ogeron, I mean, I've told you all that for a long time. Ogeron, he and Aranda, their styles were so different. Ogeron was big and loud and raw and emotional, and Aranda was not. And Dave was looking to get out of here. I mean, he had verbally accepted the UNLV job. That's how badly he wanted to get out. And then some things happened, and he ended up turning it down, and ended up working out better for him because then Baylor came along. But anyway. Tim Gotro, any word how practice went yesterday? They did not practice yesterday, Tim. So because of the game being on Sunday, they took yesterday off. They treated yesterday like Sunday. They'll have a light practice today, then their full pad heavy practice will be tomorrow, and then they start to taper down until Sunday. Jeremiah Hardle, my school had a 2-hour delay, but I didn't notice, so I walked all the way there without realizing, but hey, at least I made morning Scone. School had a 2-hour delay? Oh, Lord. What school had a 2-hour delay? Man. Well, glad you're here. Weston Weaver, DJ, Nola HD. You're confident in that starting O-line? No. I think I'll say again what I've said all along. I think they've got talented guys. But, I mean, Will Campbell's a freshman. Garrett Dellinger's never played center before. I like Bradford at guard. I like Cam Wire at right tackle. Frazier was a tackle. Now you're moving him to guard. These guys have never played together. I think that's the real big question. I think you've got talented players. How well will they play together? Because offensive line, it's cliche, but 5 playing as 1 is how that rolls. And against that Florida State defensive front, that's going to be a challenge, big challenge. Kerry Hughes, I don't even feel like I need to ask, but why not? Crystal gets you right. Certainly did. So last Friday I went and saw Crystal Poche over at Restored Motions. I did mention it here on the show, Kerry, but I mean always. She's the best, man. She's just the best. Brett DeGrow, what's up? Brad David, do you have when there is breaking news that got to? Do you have when there is breaking news right before you go on air that got to? Brad, I don't know what you're asking me, sorry. Type that up again if you would. Paul K., the defense does change. What they do change is experienced quarterbacks get defended differently than inexperienced quarterbacks, even if the talent between the two are equal. Maybe you bring more pressure, but they're going to disguise looks against whoever they're facing. I mean, I Eduardo got the crabs. What's up? Tyler Guthrie. Does Jaden have any more eligibility after the season? Yes, but he's not going to play another season. He'll be in the NFL next year. Damon Hinderberger, because everybody gets the COVID year. So technically he could play this year and next, but he's going pro after the season. Damon Hinderberger, Josh Giraldo. Looking at the picture of all the players from the state of Louisiana, all I can see is Mason Smith as a unit. He's huge. Paul K., what's up? Samuel Smith, Kelly's interviews are so much more enjoyable to listen to. Sounds like a man with a plan. Yeah. It's interesting sometimes when you need a contrast to show you need a contrast to be able to show how something really is. Like I say it oftentimes, like you don't know how bad you feel until you start feeling good again. It's like this. You don't realize how unorthodox Les was or how bad Ed was until you see something that looks professional. You go, oh, that's how it's supposed to look. Jeremiah, I live in Indiana, 2-hour delay due to storm damage. Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Very sorry to hear about storm damage. That sucks. Trey Guy, Hudson Jeter, over under LSU 7 wins. Under is minus 135. Who are you betting with? I thought the over had gotten the juice. How about this? LSU's win total. LSU's taken the most over action in the nation. I don't like that. Typically, if there's a consensus on something, then you go the other way. Wow. 91% of the tickets, 82% of the handle is on the over 7. Wow. Let's go. That is interesting. Send myself that. One second, y'all. I'm gonna send myself that link. So I'm gonna talk about that today. So in the meantime, y'all can get Brock, shout out to Brock, Ben's Recipe Clinic, Hutco Roofing, HutcoRoofing.com. Okay, there we go. All right. Earl, Matt, how soon will it take Saints to get a left tackle, or will they wait till teams get their 53? Yeah, man, Earl, I think look, rosters have to be cut today to 53, right? It would not make sense to make any move before you see who's available. So I think you make phone calls. So if y'all miss Trevor Penning, toe injury, he's going to miss maybe the entire season. So you need depth at left tackle. If you have the opportunity to bring in someone who can be a starter and move Hurst back to your swing spot, cool. If you're comfortable with Hurst as your starter and you want to add depth, that should happen today after the cuts. Let's see. David Landry, Melanie Wilson, Willis, Dalton, what's going on? You think the O-line has a chance to be above average? Sure. I mean, Dalton, I think their talent is good. I mean, I've said this a bunch. I think the talent on the offensive line is good. I think Will Campbell's going to be a pro. I think Garrett Dellinger's going to get a chance in the NFL. I think Anthony Bradford's going to get to play in the NFL. I think Cam Wire has a shot. I don't know if he'll get drafted, but he'll have a shot because he's an athletic tackle. I can't say I know anything about Frazier or Shorts other than, short time on campus. But I think a lot of those guys are going to be NFL players. It's just how quickly can they gel in their new position with new players next to them. I mean, it's never a good thing. One thing I always remember about that Cam Newton team at Auburn in 2010 is they had the fewest drafted players of any team that won the championship in the BCS era. They had a cheat code on both sides of the ball. They had Cam on offense and Nick Fairley on defense. But more than that, they started 5 senior offensive linemen. That was it, man. They started 5 senior offensive linemen and had a cheat code at quarterback. And they won a national championship. It's just, and none of those guys, by the way, played in the NFL. I think maybe one got a cup of coffee in the NFL. But matters, man. That experience on the offensive line matters. Dustin Thiels, good morning. Kelly, hi. Hey, Dad, good morning. Etu, Joel. Kelly Groves, good morning. Ryan, Amanda Gidry, David Coslin, what's up? Shelby, all good. I was pulling a BI insider, being a hurt ex. Get your new boo, bro. Preston Schulze, week 1, always brings surprises among the games being played. Any upsets brewing to keep an eye on for marquee matchups, smaller games. I asked Cole Kublik that yesterday on AFR. He did point out Cincinnati. Cincinnati plays at Arkansas. There's no Desmond Ridder. There's no Sauce Gardner. So it's a very different team than the one that was in the playoff a year ago. But that's certainly one worth keeping an eye on. Quentin Breakbill, good morning. Let's see. Ryan, Amanda Gidry was impressed with Brian Kelly's press conference. Great question you asked. Thank you, man. I'll tell you the one question that, had I gotten the mic again, I asked him about the advantage of having prepped against Florida State last year. I asked him, does the uncertainty of place kicker change his offensive strategy? I loved his answer to that too, by the way. He said no. I mean, when you decide on a kicker, you got to roll with it. He's your kicker. Go. So it was interesting because sometimes you don't have faith in the kicker. Maybe you're more inclined to go for it on a 4th and short. You pass on the long field goal. Maybe you punt instead of attempting the long field goal to play field position. But he's like, it's our kicker. We roll. I'm like, all right, we'll see. Craig Dugard, you can smell it in the air. It's so close. Everyone's getting excited. Basketball season is near. Stay close, we ride. Craig, you're so stupid. Michael Richard, good morning. Mike Richard with the best bank. There you go. Tyler Alexander, good morning. Tyler Alexander from Darren James and Associates, powered by eXp Realty. Brant Roban, you think this could be Winston's best stat season in the NFL? Yeah. I mean, look, he had a 5,000-yard season with Tampa, but that was with 16 games. So if he stays healthy, plays a full 17 with these receivers, I think it could very well be his best offensive season, yes. Matthew Garner, I'll put it to you this way. Brant, I think it will be either his best or just below his 5,000-yard season. I think it will be either his best or second best season in the NFL. It'll be better than any other year he had in Tampa. Will next year be the year when the roster mismanagement problems of Coach O's time at LSU really hits us, or will the transfer portal help? Yeah, Matthew, I think, look, losing so many guys from the 20 and 21 classes undeniably hurts. Like Eric Gilbert and Eli Ricks, Max Johnson, those should all be juniors on this team. You know what I mean? Like that should be your core group of veterans on this team. They're gone. Apu Aika, it should be a senior on this team. But I think Brian Kelly in the last class recruited need, supplemented with portal. And I think in this class, you're seeing where the numbers should get back where they should be. Then it just becomes getting experience. That's why I'll keep looking at year 3. I think, you show improvement this year. I think next year you should be good, but probably a little inexperienced. And then 23, I think, is the year where you can maybe realistically expect a big jump to where, okay, see if you're back in playoff contention here. Trey Fisher, good morning. Darren Reeves, morning, Scone. Final prediction score for LSU Florida State. I give it on Friday, Darren. I do my score prediction on Friday on AFR. I do think LSU wins. I think it's a close game, probably in the 20s, but I'll give you a prediction on Friday. Lance Bradford, morning, Matt. Do you think the linebacker, will have the biggest test this weekend? Sure, I think that's fair. Yeah, I think you have big space-eating defensive linemen that'll be really effective in the running game, and it should free up your linebackers to make plays. Yeah. Those linebackers have to get the running backs to the ground. Yeah, I think that's fair. Truax, what's up? Gerald Mathern, have to go to Baton Rouge Friday morning, maybe Saturday. Going to try my luck and call today to see if Crystal has an opening. There you go, Gerald. Get it, man. Yeah, definitely holler at her, because even if her online schedule is booked, she could always have a cancellation. I mean, that's how I got Erica in last week. She had a cancellation. Dax Jeter, Wayne Blanchard, Jason Horn, what's up? Let's see. Do you agree with the statement, if you say you have two quarterbacks, you don't really have one? Absolutely. There was no chance Joe Burrow was ever coming out of the game in 2019. There's no chance Bryce Young's ever coming out of a game for Alabama this year. There's no chance C.J. Stroud is coming out of a game for Ohio State. You got your guy, ain't nobody else coming in. If you're looking over your shoulder, it's because you're not confident in the guy you have. Even last year, Bo Nix at Auburn, as veteran as he was, T.J. Finley still played 9 games last year, y'all. I mean, when they were losing to Georgia State, they put Finley in to go lead a 99-yard game-winning touchdown drive. Not their veteran. So, yeah. Dalton, I'd rather have the quarterback battle we have at LSU than whatever they have going on in Michigan right now. Oh, my God, I know. Full contact practices with the quarterbacks live, and they're going to let each guy start the first 2 games and then make a decision after that. But look, Harbaugh played the position, college and pros, and he's been a successful head coach. That's undeniable. So, unorthodox, but it's hard to argue with the success the guy's had at every level, really. Y'all smash that like button if you haven't done so yet on YouTube. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. Jeremy, okay, let's see. DJ Nola HD, keys to an LSU win. Run the football. If you're able to run the football against that Florida State defensive front, I don't think that that will open up the passing game, and I do not think Florida State's secondary can match LSU's receivers. So if you're able to be multidimensional on offense, I don't think Florida State can hang. Wendell Norman, and then stop the run. Wendell Norman, Cade Mayu, how big is Mason Smith? They've been lying about his height. He towers over 6'6". No, that's about right. You got to keep in mind he's also wearing cleats, so that probably gives him a couple of extra inches. Cade Mayu, what's up, Mayu? Robert Gremion, I saw you on Crane & Company talking about Brennan leaving. Tense conversation. I'm glad y'all are good friends. That was a few weeks back when they had me on about Miles. Yeah, I pegged J-Boy against the wall with his whole when you coached thing. No, but we're good. We're good. We're great. All those guys. Jesse Brown, good morning. Trey Guy, Scone, you blew up Crane & Company. Samuel Smith, should I just bet the Bama over no matter what it is? Yeah, no, Bama's not losing this year. They're not losing this year. They're going 12-0. And they get Vandy and Tennessee from the East. Yeah, they're not losing. And then Texas, yeah, they're not. Bama's going 12-0. Eric Waterotter, crazy that the Dolphins end up cutting Michelle after all that. I know. I'd love to see him end up with New Orleans. I mean, they already worked him out. They know there's interest. You got to be on the phone and go get that guy here. Tim, from a fellow Yankee fan, great job representing yesterday on Crane & Company. Yeah, so Blaine Crane is a Yankee fan too, so that's why I pulled out the hat. Trivia Carter, what's up? Let's see, Matt, will LSU homer Russ Mitchell be on AFR this season? You're the GOAT. Yes, Russ finally replied to me. Russ will be on AFR starting tomorrow, so Wednesdays in his usual 5:15 Central slot. Russ Mitchell on AFR, yes. Let's see, Bilbo, what's going on? You never told me if you got your Blantons for your baby. Thoughts on Florida playing their first Power 5 season opener in the Swamp since '91? It happens to be a fairly good Utah team. That's interesting. That's their first Power 5 home opener since '91. Florida's thing was always they didn't want to leave Florida, right? They didn't want to play a non-conference game against a team not from Florida because they have the Florida State game, and then they rotated the Miami deal. And I know they played South Florida and other stuff like that, but usually it's a home game. I don't think they've done a neutral site opener. I'm running through my. I don't think they've done a neutral site. I mean, that's the big difference, though, right? How they schedule because they've got Florida State at the end of the season, so they're usually not going to schedule 2 Power 5s. That's brutal, though, man. To open up against Utah and to close against Florida State and then have to run the SEC gauntlet, it's a brutal schedule. I would have fully scheduled that before he bolted. But I'm guessing also, you see, that's the other thing, too. I wonder, hang on. That's a good question. Hang on, let's see. What year did Utah go into the Pac-12? What year did Utah join the Pac-12? Because here's why I'm asking. Those games are scheduled so far in advance. Wow, it's 2010. Oh wait, they agreed to join the conference in 2010. So what year do they? Let's see. They joined for 2011. Wow, that's hard to believe. It's 2011, so it's been a decade. Because I was going to say if they had scheduled, maybe they scheduled that game before they were in the Pac-12. That's wild. William Laws, I'm not understanding this narrative now from Notre Dame fans that Kelly is a bad coach. It's just William, I've explained it so many times, man. It's part of it is the jilted lover syndrome, which I understand. Like, you got dumped. You, instead of looking at what you did wrong, you find fault with the person that dumped you. Like that is a common human characteristic, right? So I get that. But it also underscores the bigger issue with Notre Dame, which I've talked about so many times now, y'all. Like, Notre Dame values its culture so much. They value, it's only 8,000 undergrad enrollment. They value the exclusivity. They value the stringent academic requirements. They value their campus culture. There's no Greek life. You live on campus in crappy dorms. There is no student athlete dorms. You do everything as a dorm community, almost like your fraternity. South Bend sucks, so a lot of people don't even have car. Like, half the student body doesn't have a car on campus. Like, you don't pull up and park next to the dorm. There's big parking lots where you'd have to walk 10 minutes to your car. I'm telling you, like, it's very different, but they love that. And I'm telling you, that's very specific, that not everybody's gonna love it. It didn't matter as much when Notre Dame was on NBC and they were this big brand and they were winning championships and all, because all of those things mattered. Notre Dame now is fighting the same thing Nebraska and Tennessee and a lot of other former powers who aren't great anymore are fighting, which is your history and tradition of winning doesn't mean jack to an 18-year-old today. They want to know, can I get NIL money? What's the football ops facility look like? You could be able to get them to the NFL. Like, that's what they care about now. And Notre Dame is just going to fight against that until they're willing to look at themselves and change the way they approach how they build a football roster. But they're not willing to do that. And if they're not willing to do that, they'll never build a roster 1 to 85 that's good enough to compete. Brian Kelly knew that. I mean, he was good enough to win a lot of games and get them into the playoff. But when you got into the playoff, every time they ran against Bama or Clemson or Ohio State or like, not just play, look at the old BCS games. Like, they just got blown. They got blown off the field. They just weren't good enough to beat those teams. So, and they'll never be good enough. Because I don't care how good of a coach you are. Why is Nick Saban the greatest ever? Because he's got the best team. How did Urban Meyer do when he went to Jacksonville and all of a sudden had the worst team in the NFL? Dude didn't make it through a season. But when you're at Florida and Ohio State, you can recruit the best players in the country. You know what I mean? All right, a couple more. Sorry, I'm running out of time. It's almost 8 o'clock. All right, YouTube, smash that like button, please. Facebook, like the page, share the post. Brian Wynn, Rode Ewell, as bad as LSU was last year, still should have been 9-3. Could have been 9-3. Could have been. I mean, UCLA, Auburn, Arkansas. 3 games that with better coaching you probably win. Pizzolatto GL, Ohio State favored by 17 over Notre Dame this weekend. Missing your receivers, not 17 points. Indy losing Kelly had an impact. Even if Brian Kelly was there, they'd still be that big of an underdog. Pizzolatto. That's it. That underscores the issue. The rosters are not the same. And Notre Dame people will tell you that's because Brian Kelly's a lazy recruiter. I'm telling you because it's impossible to recruit a roster to Notre Dame that will be able to compete 1 to 85 with Alabama and Ohio State and all those teams. Shelby, is this the best Saints team from a talent standpoint? They got to be 2011, dog. I don't know. Talk to me in 3 months. The reason we haven't had good seasons is because Will Stout isn't here making hype videos. Will Stout is, however, making hype videos for Hudco Roofing. And maybe, just maybe, you might be hearing more from Will Stout, courtesy of 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Tease, maybe. Stay tuned for more of that. Lowell Cormier, there are a few years where LSU didn't sign many offensive linemen. Do you see this changing since Kelly's taken over? Absolutely. Rick Kelly, Matt, the last person to take a snap last year was Jack Mashburn on the trick play to end the bowl game. Now who is the starter? Paul Losey, good morning. Josh DeVilliers, I like the tight end Kelly has developed in the past. He was praising Mason Taylor. You think he gets considerable playing time? Absolutely. Michael Thacker, morning Scone. Is there a chance if Nuss doesn't start, he transfers this offseason? No. And Walker, I wouldn't say Walker's a lock to start next year, no. There's always a chance, but I don't think that, I would definitely not say that's a lock. Tyler Alexander, what's up? Do you think the Saints go after O.J. Howard? Good question. I don't know. They seem okay at tight end. It seems like they like their group. So, Mark, is Daniels the LSU starting quarterback? Don't know, but I would assume so. Scott Phillips, okay, any more real quick. William Law is not understanding this narrative now from Notre Dame fans. Oh, it did that one, sorry. Spurge, what's up? Savannah Lewis, Florida State running backs are small, 190 pounds. They're tough. Clyde was a small back. He ran tough. So don't be deceived, man. They're good. Las Vegas Oz, the band playing neck at the game. Lee, see where are the hype videos. Don't they usually drop them on Thursday? Let's see, Bilbo. I haven't gotten the Bland yet. Baby's due December. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Let's see. Utah went to the Pac-12 long after Urban. Urban left. Urban's first season at Florida was Les's first season at LSU in 2005. Chris Lee, Scone, listening to you on a flight from Dallas to LAX. Your projected LSU record. I've got them 8-4, Chris, which I think is a really good step in the right direction considering where they've been the last 2 years. Blake Gregory asked Matt, how do you feel about the safety position? I think they're loaded at safety. I mean, Jay Ward, Major Burns. Then after that, you're rotating in Greg Brooks. Joe Fouché. You got Brooks at the nickel safety spot, backed up by Sage Ryan. That's not even talking about guys like Langlois, who's been around now for 3 years. Todd Harris has had really an injury-plagued career, but I think they're good at safety. They've got plenty of numbers at safety. Howard Jr., what's up? Ashley Megan, good morning. Wacky Chris, Irfan Sayad. Let's see. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Okay. I think we're done. We're done. Blake Oob. Yo, all right, we're done. Dalton, breaking news. Matt claims Will Stout disses USC for the boot. Will Stout is not at USC anymore, Dalton. Will Stout spent one season at USC in 2020, the COVID year, and then Alex Bregman hired him to do his own personal content production. So Will moved to Houston, where he's been for the last year plus, but is now also doing freelance work. So he's not full-time Bregman. He's working for Bregman kind of part-time and doing freelance work for businesses. So like Hudco hired Will Stout. Like we have Will Stout on a retainer where he comes once a month and we film stuff. He edits, does videos. So like if you look at the Hudco Brandon Landry ad that we ran, go look at the Hudco page. You'll see it. Will shot and produced all that. We got another one that he's sent us for approval right now. So, and yes, I mean, I will tell you point blank that I have been pushing to get Will to do content for us at 104.5 ESPN. And those meetings are happening. Again, there's like a lot of stuff that has to happen, but, but I am efforting. I'm efforting to get that done. I'll tell you, my idea point blank was, let's credential Will, let him do hype videos for us. We'll do hype videos. We'll put them on the ESPN social media, the 104.5 ESPN social media. So that was my idea. So we'll see if they can make it happen. That's just, that just comes down to like contracts and terms, also whatever. That's when it gets out of my league. So anyway, okay, we're done. All right, I'll see y'all. Have a great day. Bye.